Hello guys, welcome to my channel. In this video I will show you how people live in a small town in Ukraine. So let's start. This city is called Obukhiv and it's not far from Kiev, namely 45 kilometers away. In general, you can get to Kiev by car in 20 minutes if there are no traffic jams. By the way, on the video you can see the largest supermarket in the city called Walmart. Yes, like Walmart, but Walmart. There's also a huge free parking lot, and right next to the supermarket is a square for the dead people, namely the military in the war respectively, who come from this city. The first thing that is very noticeable in the city itself is that the roads to the city and in the city itself are very good, unlike Kiev roads. I will be staying here with my friend for about 3 weeks. I told about the reasons for my temporary move in the past videos on the channel. If you haven't watched them, I highly recommend it. In them, I share the most personal story of my life. And we're back to Obukhiv. There are about 30,000 people living here, and in this video we will see the streets, roads, cafes, schools, market, grocery stores, and just walk around the city. In general, this city has everything you need for life, but if you live in a big city, you will not have enough like me. First of all, there are big supermarkets, there are maximum 10 of them all over the city, but there are food markets and small grocery stores. There are pet stores, pharmacies, hospitals, schools, and kindergartens, but of course, there aren't a lot of them. There is public transportation, namely shuttle buses, but of course there's little work here, so many people go to work in Kiev and come back home in the evening. I personally like parks and places for simple walks. The only place where you can more or less walk is a location with two lakes and walking areas around it, which you can see on the video now. In general, the biggest advantage of living here instead of in Kiev, for example, is the real estate prices. And to buy housing here is cheaper and rent. Approximately prices differ from Kiev in 2 times as minimum. That is an apartment then in Kiev you can rent for 20,000 hryvnia, that is about $500. Here you can rent for 10,000 hryvnia or $250. Also, the prices for kindergartens and schools are different. There are new residential complexes, old houses, high rise buildings, and of course, many private houses. By the way, in the video you see some very calm pigeons. I don't know why they don't fly away, and in Ukraine it's the first time I see such a thing that you can just come up and pet the pigeons. In general, this is one of the most popular places in the city for walks, so pigeons, ducks, and all other animals here are waiting until they are fed and aren't in a hurry to fly away. And yes, in the video you can see my friend who took me in. Next, I suggest we just take a walk amongst the ordinary areas and see what it's like, the local school looks like, and in the next yard my friend grew up. After high school she left town. After a few more years she moved to Kiev. All in all, we've known each other for about 10 years. When the war started, she went abroad like many people, and afterwards she came back to her hometown because her relatives live here and she wants to be close to them. This is the local school, there are several in town, and there is also a kindergarten next to it. In Ukraine, there are public and private schools and kindergartens. Public schools and kindergartens are considered to be free, but in reality, there are constantly some internal fees for repair of premises, renovation of territories, and so on. And paid schools, private schools, and kindergartens can cost very different from $100 a month to $5,000 a month, where children of rich parents, in our case mostly politicians, study. In the meantime, we arrived at one of several cozy cafes in the city. It's my favorite and I love coming here myself and just sitting in the sun. We are having the last warm days of the year. If we talk about Ukraine in general, it's a country of contrast. There are very few middle class people here compared to the poor or rich class, unfortunately, of course. By the way, write in the comments what stereotypes you know or have heard about Ukraine in general in any sphere, and I will write how true they are. By the way, if you want to support me and my channel, you can do it on the links that I will leave under the videos, as well as of course leave a like, comment and check the subscription. Back to Obukhiv. In general, I'm exploring this small town with you as I have never been here before, and in fact I would hardly have come here if my life had turned out differently during this period. Now we are going to go to another part of town where there are more private houses. By the way, there is a big stadium in the city. Let's stop and see what it looks like. In general, despite the fact that most people work in Kiev, of course, there still work here, just not much. My friend works as a makeup artist in a salon, for example. Another friend works as a massage master, or rather, she and her husband opened a massage parlor small in the city. A lot of ordinary work such as salesman, cashier and the like. But of course the salaries here are much lower than in Kiev, for example. That's why my friend is thinking about coming back to live in Kiev. She has a car, unlike me now, so she will be able to visit her relatives all the time. But of course, it's much more profitable to work as a makeup artist in a big city. And again, by the way, pay attention to the roads, they are really smooth here. And yes, it's stereotypical that Ukraine has bad roads, it all depends on the government of particular city. In general, if you drive down the road, it seems that the city is very green, but in fact, everything is a forest that you can't walk through, and there is very little green space in the city itself. I adore my friend. We stopped to buy me 5 coffees for the day. I'm going through a very stressful time in my life right now, and I feel like I'm just living on coffee. And yes, people close to me probably saw me in this state for the first time in my life, and when they found out that I had a pre-stroke, they all started treating me very, very gently. By the way, now we are going through the local market to get some drinking water to take home. It's just that everyone in my life is used to me being a very positive and strong person, and I understand their shock, but that's not the point. By the way, my friend is free and alone, and therefore she's very independent in a strange sense of the word. You probably know that Ukrainian girls, as a rule, are very feminine, like to be taken care of, give gifts, flowers, open doors, give a hand, carry heavy things, and generally like to be helped by a man. Recently, an acquaintance of mine from Brazil said that all girls in the world are probably like that. But I don't think so, because I constantly see in other countries and from other countries, women who like to do everything themselves, carry a heavy suitcase, don't ask for help from anyone even if it's hard, and in general are not so feminine. So the next day, my friend left Ukraine for a week and left me her dog and car, so I'm going to keep on business. Look at this perfect road on the highway. By the way, of course, animals make everything easier and I love them so much. They'll all animals quickly adapt to me. Here is a dog, it's a girl, her name is Lilu, and Lilu begs for food from me, for example, and cries and screams and whines. She's a little manipulator. Back to our discussion of girls from different countries, my acquaintances from America in general say that the feminist movement has become very exagerated there and that a woman can be offended if they help her, for example, to open the door. Of course, not everyone is like that, but this is my subject observation. What do you think? Is there some truth in it? Have you noticed any difference in girls from different countries in this way? And thanks for watching. See you in the next video.